Vietnam Veterans Memorial, International Women's Day, March 8, 2009.
Our job down here as volunteers with the National Park Service, it encompasses many facets. We help people locate names on the wall, do rubbings for them. Do you know that his remains have been recovered? Yes. And since I've been down here, at least 50% of the taken away of the names is done digitally with their cameras, but I think getting rubbings is just such a very personal tribute to the men and women. I listen a lot, and I wipe a lot of tears away and lend a shoulder because I have a direct connection with Vietnam. I served there as a civilian with the Navy Department. I met my late husband there. He's a Marine. My brother served there. My other brother's a Vietnam vet. This is an opportunity to stay connected with the military, and it's probably the best volunteer job you could ever hope to have. We deal with people from all over the world. We're the most visited memorial in Washington, and of course our interaction also involves dealing with the very brave current active duty men and women who are all volunteers, and it's not unusual to meet a multi-tour veteran from Iraq or Afghanistan. Those I'm particularly grateful to, and I have a reputation for hugging every Marine that comes down the pike, and I do. They're in my heart because I married a Marine. We put in long hours. There's a very small core of us, of about 5.5 of us, who are here almost every weekend throughout the year, through cold weather, through hot weather, and we're pretty much left alone to run the wall on the weekends. The Rangers give us minimum support because they know we can handle it. As I was telling Betty, I've lived through some anti-war demonstrations down here. Our two biggest holy days are Memorial Day and Veterans Day, when we have actual ceremonies here, and we usually have VIP speakers. We've had General Peter Pace, retired Marine Corps, here in the past. We had General Colin Powell here on the 25th anniversary of the wall. We've had Lieutenant General Hal Moore and Joe Galloway, who fought in the Battle of the Ai Drang, which was the first major battle between Americans and North Vietnamese regiment, made famous by the movie We Were Soldiers. We have, unfortunately, a lot of Marines on the wall, and from time to time I get to talk to members of the recovery teams, and I'm always astounded at their tenacity and their diligence to volunteer for recovery missions, because we are still bringing the remains home of those unaccounted for from many decades ago. They're able to make identification of them at our major forensic lab out in Hawaii and return the remains to the families to finally close that loop, and we honor them on the wall. Again, it's the most unique volunteer job in the world. It's very stressful at times, and we have our own way to see humor down here amongst we volunteers. It's kind of a way of survival. We don't have any support network to get some psychological counseling, and the team that I work with the exception of 2, all served in Vietnam, various capacities. I'm starting my 8th year down here. I don't know of any other job that can compare with this. I get down and personal. I want to let them know that I'm here to help you through your ordeal, because for many of them it is an ordeal, and it could be their first journey. To all my Vietnam veterans, I want to say thank you for your service. Welcome home. You're in my heart, and all those on active duty. You have a special place in my heart because you have volunteered. You are serving multiple tours. I am so very humbled by your service. And to my nephew Mark in Baghdad, come home safely, Spark. Thanks, Betty, for this opportunity.
Thank you, Betty. 265,000 women served during the Vietnam War, all of them volunteers. 10,000 served within combat alongside their brother soldiers. Some, whose names are on the wall, gave their lives. Attention to orders. Second Lieutenant Pamela Dorothy Donovan. Lieutenant Colonel Annie Ruth Graham. First Lieutenant Sharon Ann Lane. Captain Mary Therese Klinker. Second Lieutenant Carol Ann Elizabeth Drazba. Second Lieutenant Elizabeth Ann Jones. Captain Eleanor Grace Alexander. First Lieutenant Hedwig Diane Orlowski.